Hi everyone, BigFriendlyWarGamer here, back again. I'm going to sit and paint for about an hour and I'm going to ramble along like I normally do. I know it's been a couple of weeks, I'll explain why it's been a couple of weeks since I've done one of these. But first off, I'm going to show you what I've got on my desk, what I'm going to be painting today, some bits that I won't be painting today, and yeah, just show you what I've been working on basically. Yeah, so here we have a really quite busy desk. Now I've been trying things to motivate myself to get painting, and I think I've found something now. So I'm going to basically just do a sweep of my desk and show you what I've got going on. So first thing, we've got Scarbrand over there, the big red demon guy. All this stuff here, don't worry about it. It's stuff that's going to be stripped or it's going to be thrown out. We've got some blood crushers, the blood letters on juggernauts. We've got a load of white and yellow space marines. I'll explain about these in a minute. Got two Chaos Chariots, which are those guys there. The wings for Scarbrand. We've got the Blood Throne, which I'm probably not going to work on any of the blood letters or the red stuff today. On the actual paint station, we've got the this Doom Ball, which I've been working on. So as you can see, he's had all his base colours done and he's had all his shades applied. Again, probably not going to be working on him today, but we'll see. We've got the Blood Master, who I've got out purely so I can keep track of what colours I've been using. And we've got more yellow Space Marines. Now the Space Marines are probably what I'm going to be working on. As you can see, this captain in Gravis armour, his armour's finished and his base colours are down. He needs finishing, his sword needs finishing, his weapons need finishing, his cloak needs finishing, and the red needs doing. But he's getting there. Now today I am going to be working on my Imperial Fists, the yellow Space Marines. So all of these guys, and I'll be showing you why, because I've got now this is the only contrast paint I've actually got, because the website was sold out. So I've got Illidan yellow, 2 pots of it. I've got the spray paint as well. So yeah, so that's why I've got Space Marines on my desk. So I'm going to set the camera up using my new tripod and we'll see how it goes from there. Right, so off we go. Now he's to the stage where I'm quite happy with him, so I'm not going to do any more on him. Basically what I'm going to do today is I've got if I tidy my desk up, I should have done this before I started, but you know what it's like. Yeah, basically what I'm going to do is get the armour on these Hellblasters finished. I don't actually need the contrast paint today. I'm going to be using Uriel yellow, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Hellblasters. Now these are from Dark Imperium. I've had them for ages. Just never really done anything with them. But now that the contrast paints are out, it's kind of easy to paint yellow. So I'm going to push myself to get some Imperial Fists painted. Right, so it has been, the date today is the 5th of July. It has been about 3 weeks since I've done one of these, and I'm aware that it's been 3 weeks. I've not been painting very much for a number of reasons. I was in a bit of a painting funk. I didn't really want to paint. It's been hot, so it's not been comfortable. It's still hot today, but it's not as hot as it has been. And now I know a lot of people will say, but other people work in heat. We have no air conditioning or anything here, so it's just I've got a fan which is there, which I can't have on while I'm recording the video, obviously. So that's reason number one. Now, secondly, I always find it's not good to paint when you're not in the mood for it. Now, I really haven't been in the mood for painting, so I just haven't. I've been building a lot. I've been building a hell of a lot. I've practically sorted out my build pile. It's almost all gone now. Yeah, that's been quite good because it's made a lot of space in my room. Now, I've built stuff from my Adeptus Titanicus Titans to all the Space Marines that I had left over. I'm in the middle of building some Harlequins that I've got left at the moment. And basically what I'm doing is I'm getting about an hour or two painting when I first get up, because I'm still working nights. So I'm getting an hour or two painting if I can, and then I'm having something to eat, I'm having a shower, and I'm getting myself ready for work. Once I'm ready, so about 6 o'clock, I'm starting to build models, and that goes to about 7 or 8. No, it goes to about 8, roughly 8 or half 8, and then I have a little chill out before I go to work. And it's good that I've got myself into a sort of routine now, because it's helped my sleeping pattern. I'm sleeping better. I'm not falling asleep at work all night, which is good. I really needed to do that. I needed to get myself into that frame of mind where I wasn't falling asleep at work all night. So yeah, so that's been another reason. But it's been good because I've been getting models built. I mean, I got them 2 Chaos Chariots built, and I've had them for forever. Got my Human Blood Bowl team built. Got my Blood Angel Reaver squad assembled. Like I said, my Adeptus Titanicus Titans, which I actually played my first game with them, even though they were blue tacked together because I need to magnetise them. And then I arranged a game at the club on Monday just gone. It's Friday now. I arranged a game at the club, and do you know what? I've missed a whole big bit of this guy's armour. That's very clever. And it was with my Necrons, and it required me to get one model painted. So I spent all Sunday getting it painted, and it was my Turok Stalker, a model that I've been painting on and off for quite a while, but I finally got it done. And it actually performed really well in the game. Normally, when I first paint a model and I play it in a game, it does really badly, gets destroyed, and freshly painted model syndrome. None of that. It done really well. I'm very, very happy with how it turned out. And yeah, it was a good week at the club. Not had many of them. And I was finding that my being away from the gaming club was kind of hurting my drive to paint as well. Now that will change in the next month or so. I'm going to be at the club a bit more, I think. Depending on my holidays and stuff, obviously. But we'll see. Now, as I said I was going to talk about, I bought one of the contrast paints because the colours that I wanted to get were all out of stock, except for this one, the Illidan yellow. But that's okay because it was the one I really wanted to try out and start painting with, because I wanted to get my Imperial Fists started. and I got the Wraithbone spray paint, so it's slightly off-white. I quite like it. And yeah, I got the Illidan yellow. So basically what I did, I spent an afternoon spray painting. I think that was on Tuesday. Yeah, I think it was Tuesday that I got spray painting. And just basically Wednesday I applied this much. That lieutenant there, I think he's got a little bit too much. I've done 2 coats on him. Now the paint's thin enough, so it's not really paint, it's an ink. It's thin enough so that I can just go back and respray if I really want to, I think. Which I might do. Or I will just apply the layer over the top and see how it goes. One thing though, with this heat, I'm finding the paint on my brush is drying very quickly, which is just typical of British weather. So it gets very humid when it gets very hot as well. So now I've seen a few videos online about people saying about contrast paints. And for me, yeah, this is a really good way to start an Imperial Fist army, because it works as a good base coat, but I wouldn't leave it at that stage. It does need more. So basically what I'm doing is I'm going over with Uriel Yellow and then edge highlighting with Screaming Skull, and that's perfectly fine. That it looks good, so I'm leaving it there. So this is basically the contrast is cutting down time for me, because it's with the normal range you would have to spray paint what's it called, Avalon Sunset, and then recess shade, bring the Avalon Sunset back as the base coat, and then edge highlight, and yeah, you don't have to recess shade with this, so it's pretty good in that regard. And basically all you have to do is jump in and do the I don't want to do that bit. Yeah, just jump in and do the layers and the edge highlights, and you're done. Now you may notice that if you do watch this rather than just listen, I've got a different camera set up. I bought myself a tripod because it was going quite cheap on Amazon, and I thought, do you know what, I've wanted a decent tripod for a while, because the one that I was using was just from a light box. It was a cheap thing, and it was always at risk of falling over. Never did, luckily, but it's now been retired, and I'm going to be using this one from now on. So obviously it was a different angle. I'll be trying things out. So it can be small enough so I can put it back in its original angle on my laptop. But I kind of like this angle. You know, you get to see my whole desk as I'm painting. And I don't continuously go off camera, although you can see my hands. So I might stick with this, but we'll see. I'm just trying out new things. I'm trying to not do the same old every week, do you know what I mean? Even if it is just me sitting and painting and talking crap. But yeah, I have got a lot of projects in mind. Um, we started playing a little bit of Battlefield Gothic at the club, so I want to get my Imperial Fleet painted. We've got the Blood Bowl League coming up. I want to run Necromunda as well, so there's so much stuff at the moment I've got in mind, but the main one is going to be the Blood Bowl League in the next month or so. So I've really got to step on and get my human team painted. Now they're getting there as they are. I started painting them ages ago, so I can just carry on from where they are. It won't be a problem. And yeah, it's right, sorry about that. I'm back again. It's another reason why I haven't really done a lot of painting, is never get the house to myself anymore. But I know it's not my house and that, but sometimes you just want peace and quiet and you just want to get on and paint, and it's not happening at the moment. So reapplying the Uriel yellow to the paint, to the palette. And like I said, with the contrast paints, I wouldn't go as far as to say one layer and you're done. You do need to do layers and edge highlights and stuff like that. So they're a good starting block. They're not the be all and end all. So yeah, like I said, I've been getting my sleeping pattern right for work. Sleeping a lot better than I was, and which is good as well. Still up in the air as to what's happening further down the line with the job, but for now I'm just content just earning my money and all that. So and I'm just glad I've got myself out of the painting funk that I was in. So that's the first Hellblaster done. I'm going to go and work on the Sergeant now, because yeah, I was really I wasn't in the mood to paint. And I was getting stuck. I was starting to paint in little bits and pieces, and just not finishing them. Just because I really wasn't in the mood, and I always find if you're not in the mood to paint, then don't force it. It's not something you absolutely have to do. But also don't leave it too long. If you leave it months between picking up a paintbrush, then you can start losing some of the techniques that you picked up while you're painting. So find something that you want to listen to, say an audiobook, or with me I've been watching Star Trek Next Generation, and yeah, it's been helping. I've got myself into gear again, and now I'm painting Imperial Fists. Now, Imperial Fists is an army I've had for quite a while. So I've got a lot of standard Marines rather than Primaris, but I've got some Primaris as well. And and I'm going to, now I started painting some a while ago, but their armour took so long to paint purely because I was using the old paints, well the current paint range, and painting yellow with them is slow going, so it just took forever. So what I decided was, when I heard the contrast paints were going to be coming out, I just put my Imperial Fists down, just left them, knowing that something that will help speed up the process, and the contrast paints do. It's a great way. Literally, you can just you spray them white, or the off-white that Wraithbone gives you, and then you just slap the Illidan yellow on. You don't have to be too precise because you're going to be covering it with a layer, and let it dry. Now if you're going to layer the contrast paints, I would say let them dry overnight, because it's not going to hurt if you do. You don't have to, but they do take a little bit longer to dry than most normal paints, because they're an ink rather than a paint. I'd say they're an ink anyway. Yeah, it's as I showed you, the results aren't too bad. Definitely making painting yellow a lot easier. But what I would say as well, if you can get some cheap, say Space Marine models, old Space Marine models are the best, because I don't really care about them. Test them out first, because you do need to get the amount of paint you apply on the brush just right. Because if you could apply too much and you end up with really dark colours, or you could apply too little and end up with none in the recesses. So yeah, it's about brush control and paint control. So yeah, it's like I said, that's the lieutenant that I've done 2 layers on. Now he's too dark. So he's either I strip him, or I just attempt to respray over. Now, because of the contrast paints are so thin, because they're like an ink, a spray over is possible. It might be doable. So we'll see. But again, I've got Space Marine lieutenants everywhere, so having that particular one, I'm not too bothered about. He was my test model for this yellow. I wanted to see if I could make it, just using the contrast paints if I go with 2 layers, and it turns out I couldn't. So there we go. But I mean, with the painting yellow and stuff, now if I was painting these using the normal painting system, I would be nowhere near this stage where I am now with the amount of time that I've put into these. So just wish this guy would stay on his little holder. He won't. think I need some new blue tack because my blue tack's becoming a bit useless. Now I'm leaving this guy's shoulder pads because I can't remember what Imperial Fist Sergeant's shoulder pads are like. So I think they're just the same as their troopers. I think it's their helmets that are different. But since I can't remember, I'll have to look it up later. That's okay, because I'm going to be painting for another hour or two yet. And basically what I'm going to do with these is get them all up to that captain standard. So that captain is at a stage now where he, apart from the power sword and maybe a little bit of silver, he's perfectly okay to use on the battlefield. He's tabletop standard. But what I will do is I want to get all of these to that standard and then hit each squad with highlights and shades and stuff. So for me it's all about getting this up the yellow armour actually done, because then, like, even if you just get that done, they stand out as Imperial Fists. Then people know what chapter they are and stuff like that. So that's the sergeant done. I've got 2 more Hellblasters. I have 2 lieutenants there, one of which, like I said, I may have to go over again. And we've got the Ancient, and then we've got a 10-man Intercessor squad. And then I've got 3 of the Interceptors, which are quite annoying models to hold while you're painting, so that's why they're not on the table. I actually have 6 of them in my Imperial Fist case, so those 3 of them are supposed to be Blood Angels, but again, their silly flight stands are quite annoying. But yeah, I'm glad I'm back painting again. I've also started playing World of Warcraft again. Not really playing it much while I'm on my work days, although I played it a little bit yesterday. It's like I said earlier, when I'm finished building models and I want to just chill out for a little while, I could just sit on my laptop and play World of Warcraft, and it's not it's just chilled. It's nice and chilled, relaxed. I put my fan on, put a bit of music on, and just go around blasting everything with fireballs. Because I'm enjoying playing my fire mage at the moment. So he can even take on the elite rare mobs fairly easily, and he hardly gets touched. So yeah, it's nice being that destructive. I'm up to season 5 of Next Generation as well, so You'll be finishing that soon, and might even jump on and watch the original series after that. I always find the original series I can't watch in like with Next Generation. I could watch 4 or 5 episodes one after the other. Original series I can't. It's too cheesy for me. And I know it's the whole setting, the 60s and all that, but it's some of the lighting effects I find really weird as well. But it's Star Trek for you. Now, as for my painting, I believe my painting tally is now 153. So I'm 47 away from being finished for the year, but well, I've hit my 200. And so if I, for example, finish these Imperial Fists, there's 10, 15, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 Marines here. So that's a big chunk on the way as well. The main thing I want to do is I want to try out these contrast paints on my Tyranids. Because painting Tyranids and my Necrons, to be quite honest, painting the flesh on my Tyranids is taking ages. Painting the bone on my Necrons takes ages as well. But I've got to find a way of getting these paints. This the thing is they're always sold out online. So what can I do? So I'm probably going to go into a Games Workshop over the weekend or on my days off next week and grab some more. I probably won't get the whole range because I can't see me using like the greens and stuff like that, because I'll still use the normal paints as well. But the contrast paints make a great base coat, so I'm going to be trying them out on all my armies, because like with my Necrons I'm sure I've got spare Necrons. My Tyrant, and like with all of them, all my armies, if I make a mess of a test model, I can just strip it and start again. It's not a problem. I find the paint's getting a bit kind of goopy and thick. Just apply a bit more water. So yeah, I've also been catching up. When I was painting on Sunday, I was catching up on YouTube stuff. So I've been watching some of the YouTubers that I normally watch. With my working days as they are, I don't tend to get much time to actually spend on YouTube now, which is fine. But it means, for example, with like some of the stuff that I watch while I'm painting, I just binge watch them on Sunday while I was painting the truck Stalker. So that was cool. It was getting that Stalker done was kind of a breakthrough thing for me. I mean, I've had that model for 6 years, I think. It was one of the first things I bought when I started collecting Necrons. Just the whole idea of edge highlighting that much white was going to drive me mad. I thought. It didn't. I got it done. But seeing that I got that done, I now know that I could push through and get anything painted that I wanted to. So, like I said, I've always, for the past few years, I've chosen armies that are going to be difficult to paint. So my Imperial Fists, my World Eaters for my Heresy army, painting white is supposed to be very difficult, and I think I've got my white to a T, how I like it. Now I've got my yellows to how I like it as well. So yeah, that's the third Hellblaster done. Now I do need some more paint on the palette because I've got 2 Hellblasters left. But I'm going to clean this palette first because that bit of paint has got a bit gunky and lumpy. It sounds like a couple of cartoon characters, gunky and lumpy, doesn't it? But there you go. Right. So more Uriel yellow. I know this has just been literally me painting yellow, but you know, it's me painting, so it's a good thing. I figure I've got about 20 minutes left, so I could probably get get the yellow layer done on both of these. But yeah, if you're sitting and watching these, let me know what you think of the camera angle. Like I said, it's a new tripod. I wanted to try some new stuff. Now I'm pretty sure I couldn't do my Conquest unboxing using this. I would have to use my old tripod for that. But we'd have to see. But yeah, I'm really quite happy because it wasn't an expensive tripod, but it's a nice professional looking one. So, and it's very adjustable. I mean, you can go up to about my height, which is about 6'3", or I can have it at just a foot high. It's totally up to me. So, pretty good. But yeah, well, we started playing a bit of Battlefleet Gothic. I've also thought about how to do the ship damage tables, because having the roster sheets is all well and good, but they're it's a bit rubbish on them. There's no way to record what damage you've taken or anything like that. So I'm thinking about making like ship cards. Now I found someone online has obviously had the same idea and has made these cards already. So I just downloaded these cards. At some point I'm going to print them out and get them laminated. So you can use a marker and mark up what damage you've taken and just rub it off afterwards. So I bought myself a laminator as well. Again, it's just at the moment it's just sitting in its box. I haven't done anything else with it because I'm not prepared to yet. So I've had A4 card for ages. I bought some a while ago when I was considering doing something else, but I can't remember what it was for. So yeah, I've just got to get my backside into gear and do it now. But yeah, Battlefleet Gothic is a fun game. Again, it's just one of those in the chain that I'm going to be playing at a few points. I need to get the actual models painted as well, because none of my fleet's painted. Well, some of them are, but I want to do a better paint job than I did, because they were painted probably about 15 years ago. So but yeah, this heat's not helping with painting. It's really not. Like I said, I can't have my fan on while I'm recording the video. So as soon as I finish recording, the fan will go on and cool me down a little bit. I had a drink when I went for a quick break, so that's not a problem. But yeah, Imperial Fists were always going to be my what's it called? Codex Marine chapter, because of painting yellow. Yeah, painting yellows was always a pain, so I had considered Crimson Fists, but a number of years ago there was someone else who was going to collect Crimson Fists, and it's very much said to me, "Oh, don't do that. Go Imperial Fists, because you're a better painter." So I did, and then I realised how awkward it was to paint yellow, so I just didn't really paint any. And the ones that I did paint, I've now stripped. I think I've got 5 that I need to strip again, because I did them in the paint scheme that I did before, which I really like, but it takes forever. So I'm going to strip them 5 at some point. I've got plenty of model stripping that I've got to do. I'll probably do it next week when I'm off Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But we'll see. So yeah, in my opinion, the contrast paints are good. If you've been not sure about them and you've kept your distance, give them a go. Like I said, get some cheap Space Marines or something and just try them out. I mean, for experienced painters, you're probably going to go, well, okay, I can layer over this as well, and it's not going to be a problem. If you're new to painting, then They can help you get an army on the table, a fully painted army on the table quicker. I mean, if you really want to, I mean, you could just apply the contrast paints as base colours. Just get the colours down. I know tournaments have a thing with 3 colour minimum. But you can get that very easily with these contrast paints. I mean, yeah, you have to watch your brush control, because you can spill over onto other colours that you've done and stuff like that. But if you're not that bothered, then just jump in and give them a go. Like I said, I mean, painting yellow on these, yes, I would have spray painted them yellow. But the shading itself would have taken me forever, because it's a recessed shade, and then you would have to tidy up, and then you'd do layers. And each model might have taken me a couple of hours maybe to get the yellow to the stage I wanted. I mean, I started these just coming up to an hour ago, and I took a 5-minute break. So I think they're going fairly well, and all they've got to do on the yellow now is edge highlight of Screaming Skull. That won't take me long either. And then the yellow's done. And you'll get faster and faster as you get used to these paints as well. Just like all painting. As you pick up techniques and you get used to your brush, you will get faster. Or like me, you'll slow down and never get models finished. So, never get models finished. I've finished a fair few this year. I think if I hit my 200 for the year this year, I think it'll be my fourth or fifth year in a row that I've done 200 models. And I'm never going to get to a stage where I've got nothing to paint. I'm always going to have models to paint. But I'm fine with that. And I think I've said before, even if I never bought another model now, I'll never get every single one fully painted. So the contrast paints might help a little bit, but they're not going to get me to that end point. So look, I'm over an hour into this video. Well, I'm nearly an hour into this video. I've not spoken a tiny bit about Apocalypse yet. Now, Games Workshop have announced the new version of Apocalypse. It actually goes on general sale tomorrow. I pre-ordered mine with cards and dice and stuff like that. Didn't bother with a limited edition set because I don't bother with limited edition sets anymore. And hopefully mine should be here tomorrow. I may do an unboxing of it, I don't know yet. Got a few other bits and pieces coming with it as well. I've got a couple of bases for some large models, and what else did I get? Oh yeah, I've got a couple of Necromunda models. Actually, the first models I've bought for quite a while. So yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how I feel tomorrow when I get up. That's if it does turn up tomorrow. There's no guarantees it's going to. It might turn up like 7 o'clock tomorrow night, in which case it's a bit too late for me to do a review because I'll be getting ready for work and stuff. But I also didn't order any of the, like, they come with Apocalypse now. They're starting to provide movement trays, which is great. For Apocalypse, you do need movement trays. But I've actually got some for my Necrons, and they can be used for my Blood Angels and my Tyranids, no problem. So I won't be picking up any of them. Maybe further down the line, because they're going to be a thing that's going to be around for a long time, because they're talking about using them in Age of Sigmar and Lord of the Rings and all that stuff, so I think they're going to be around quite a while, the movement trays. But yeah, don't get this confused with 40k. This is a new game, basically, Apocalypse. It is 40k to the extent that you use the same models. You will use a lot more. Well, I would think you'd use a lot more. You can use the same amount, but it makes the game a bit rubbish. Apocalypse is supposed to be about massive armies and big vehicles and big monstrous creatures, so make use of them. Unfortunately, most of my armies aren't really set up for Apocalypse. They're just big armies, mine, so in the next little while I may look at getting some big stuff. I was even considering the big Necron Walker from Forge World, but I'm not going to treat myself to anything like that until my Reaver Titan's built now. So there's also I still want a Night Lancer, but that Reaver Titan has got to be built first. Basically what I'm going to do is, once I've built all my models that I've got, I'm going to jump in and build it step by step, that Reaver Titan. Now this guy is nearly finished, or nearly finished layering his armour, shall we say. It's not nearly finished, he's got edge highlights to do and stuff, but his armour is nearly done. The yellow's nearly done on it. And I think I'm getting about near to my hour. I may actually be past it. I'm not quite past it, but past the hour and not past it as in me past it, that is. But yeah, let me know what you think about this camera angle, whether it hurts the audio at all. I'll listen to this back a little bit before I post it, so I'll see myself whether it hurts the audio, but let me know what you think. I'm always open to comments and suggestions. It's how I'm gonna develop my editing skills and my camera skills, and I know there's not much camera skills with me just having the camera set up like that, but you know what I mean. So that's the 5 Hellblasters, got the yellow done on them. Now I'm going to set this to uploading, and I'm going to carry on painting a little bit. So I may actually get the Screaming Seagull edge highlights done today as well. But thank you very much if you've listened to me rambling. I'm sorry it's been a couple of weeks. I will try and do one a week again. I want to get back on track with painting and stuff as well. I want to hit that 200 models. But again, thank you very much if you've listened. I will see you next week. Bye bye.